I am Reverend Gregory Toole, and as usual, we have a wonderful service coming up here today. We got Reverend Mary Morgan in the house, and we got Elise Carver in the house, and we got all of you in the house. Yes, let's open with some prayer. Let's turn within for a moment. Just taking that breath. It's so easy to take the breath for granted. And the breath is so powerful. Just that one breath, that one deeper breath brings us to center, brings us to this present moment. So we take that deep, conscious breath where we just, and we come into being fully present right here and right now. Present to the I am. I am is another name for God. I am is another name for us. I am that I am. And so we come into that awareness that the presence of God is our very life and being, the presence of that one whole, perfect, complete life, infinite intelligence, infinite love, infinite wisdom, wholeness, perfection. That is the truth of who each one of us is. And so in that knowing, I bless this service today, meaning I recognize the truth of what is happening here. I recognize that something grand and glorious is taking place right here and right now, and it is each one of us. It is our speaker today, Reverend Mary Morgan. It is our musician today, Elise Carver. It is our audiovisual team back there. It is our announcements person. It is everyone here today that we are creating this grand and glorious experience, which is simply a recognition of and an inviting in and a welcoming of what the divine wants to do with us today. And so we recognize that, we accept that, we give thanks for that. And in gratitude, I just release it and let it be. I know it is good, and so it is. Amen. All right, well, good to see everyone, and I've got a few announcements here, and let's see if my iPad is going to cooperate today. Come on, iPad. Somehow it's not been connecting to the internet, but I got little tricks here because I can use my phone as a hotspot. There we go. Phone, click in, phone. All right, phone kicked in. Pull up those announcements. Don't you love technology? See, I'm not using any paper up here. Isn't that great? No paper. No trees were hurt in this production. Except it's not coming up. All right. We'll try it a different way here. So use this time to remember that God is all there is, and that God is sustaining and uplifting you right now. How was that? All right, so in that recognition, let us silence our phones. This exercise in 21st century, right? Silence our phones. Those little devices that we carry, I carry mine everywhere. All right, so thank you to everyone who joined our Pledge Potluck last Sunday. Who was there at the Pledge Potluck? Was that awesome or what? That was truly awesome. Except I can't seem to get off the stage, you know. Everywhere I go to these days, somehow I end up on a stage dancing or something. But I enjoy it, so that's okay. Thank you, Carla, for that. Our New Earth Expo, it's here this weekend. New Earth Expo, about 1,200 people are going to stream through the center this weekend. And we would love it if you would be one of those 1,200 people, and you can even sign up for a slot and, be there as a host of our company that's going to come in. There's going to be healers in all different modalities, so you can also participate in all these different healing modalities and see what people have going on. I love that we do this. And there'll be talks as well. In fact, Reverend Catherine will be giving a talk Saturday morning at 11 a.m. right here in the sanctuary. And I will be giving a talk at 1 p.m. on Sunday afternoon right here in the sanctuary. And so this is just another opportunity for us to speak to. These are really designed for the people who are coming in so that they get to know us because, one of the reasons we do this is to introduce ourselves to a much broader audience. So we get to introduce ourselves to 1,200 people this weekend that are pretty much going to be like-minded people because they're coming to, a holistic healing fair, right? Isn't that exciting? That's exciting to me, although I get excited pretty easily, so. All right, Drumming Circle, Sunday, November 23rd. That's this coming Sunday, 12:30, across from the teen room. Thanksgiving Eve service next Wednesday at 2 p.m. Reverend Valerie Reeves, along with Elise Carver, will be doing that service. Join us, 11 a.m. on Wednesday. There won't be a meditation or a Wednesday service that day, so don't show up at 11 because you'll be outside the door knocking. But at 2, come at 2 o'clock. You get to sleep in. Come at 2 o'clock, and we'll have a wonderful Thanksgiving Eve service. Also, really cool, Vedic Astrology for Beginners will be happening on Saturday, December 6th, 10 o'clock with Vish Chatterjee. No yoga next week, Thanksgiving week, they'll take off. So next Tuesday, you can do yoga. There will be yoga going on in the world, just not here on Tuesday. We have God's calling again, God's calling. If it's for me, I'm a little busy. We have a gondola Christmas journey happening here, or not happening here, but in Long Beach, part of our Divine Dining, Sunday, December 7th, 6 p.m. Put your bid in. You'll see a sign-up sheet outside there in the lobby. Men's Spirit Group is meeting Monday, December 1st, 7 p.m. Labyrinth Walk, Wednesday, December 3rd, after service, so a couple weeks from now. Discovery Class. Most of you here are probably been here a while, you're already members, but for those who are new and want to learn more about the church, we're going to answer all your questions. Who's Ernest Holmes? What does it mean to be a member of CSL? What is the spiritual mind treatment? What is a practitioner? Any other questions you might have about us. This is a class that's required to become a member, and we welcome you to join us. There's no cost for this class. Sunday, December 7th, 12:30 p.m. Our office will be closed next Thursday for Thanksgiving. Probably no surprise, right? Our staff and all of us will be enjoying Thanksgiving with family and friends and ourselves if we want to. I've done that. I've done Thanksgiving, just me and my cats. We're just going to have Thanksgiving. However you do that, we wish you a wonderful Thanksgiving, and we look forward to seeing you Sunday, November 30th. Flyers for all of our events can be found in the lobby at our table. Weekly e-newsletter, Spirit Speaks magazine. We have lots of different ways to tell you about our events. So make sure to be up to date because there's some really good ones you don't want to miss. A big thank you to all of our wonderful volunteers. Let's give a hand to our volunteers. Thank you so much. We appreciate you all so much. Are you the lady today, Margene? So give thanks to Margene. She's serving right here today, right now. Also, our speaker today, as I mentioned, is Reverend Mary Morgan, but give her a hand again, Reverend Mary Morgan. And before we get to Reverend Mary, we get a treat from our wonderful lead musician, Elise Carver.
Thank you. This song is called If I Were Brave by Jana Stanfield. What would I do if I knew that I could not fail? If I believed with the wind always fill up my sail, how far would I go? What would I achieve? Trusting the hero in me. If I were brave, I'd walk the razor's edge where fools and dreamers dare to tread. I'd never lose faith, even when losing my way. What step would I take today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What if we're all all meant to do what we seek when we dream. What would you do if you knew you could have anything? Like the mighty oak sleeps in the heart of a seed, are there miracles in you and me? If I were brave, I'd walk the razor's edge, where fools and dreamers dare to tread. I'd never lose faith, even when losing my way. What step would I take today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? If I refused to listen to the voice of fear, would the voice of courage whisper in my ear? If I were brave, I'd walk the razor's edge, where fools and dreamers dare to tread. I'd never lose faith, even when losing my way. What step would I take today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave?
Thank you so much. I love that song. If I Were Brave. Today, my talk title is called Living Courageously. And so I really have to live courageously because the talk that I wrote out is sitting on my printer at home. So I can say, too, just like Reverend Gregory, no pages were destroyed, no trees were destroyed to create. No, actually they were because they're sitting on my printer. So first off, it's very good to see you. It's so great to be here. So living courageously. I always start with the definition of a word. And the word courage is very interesting. It comes from the Latin cor of cor, C-O-R, which means heart. Isn't that interesting? Sometimes when you dissect the word, all of a sudden it gives you some new insight. And the definition of courage is to do something that frightens one, even despite the worry of it. I'm going to look up another section here because I had a, oops, hang on, bear with me. Where would we be without our electronics? It's the idea of doing things despite the fear that you might feel and in spite of it, like to do it despite the sense of fear. So it doesn't mean, living courageously doesn't mean not being fearful. It means saying, okay, it's feeling the fear and doing it anyway and moving forward. And I thought, well, we've got many examples of people that have been courageous in our lives. We think of heroes and people that have done magnificent things, and there's all sorts of individuals that have done things that are indelible in the history of all. They had the courage to go forward. I was reading a whole article about Henry Ford the other day and all the things that he went through in order to create the car and the setbacks that he had, but he never let it stop him because what it did was it actually propelled him. Like the failures that he had were more just like feedback. And so I thought, well, how interesting. If we took every failure in our life as feedback, wouldn't that just be wonderful rather than why I ought to? I was thinking also about, in life, when we're just going in our daily way, sometimes we look at our life and say, gosh, I don't feel fulfilled, or I feel kind of set back, or I feel like, everything's upsetting the apple cart, especially these days. I talk to a lot of people that say that the apple cart is definitely upset. And I thought, well, in this teaching, it reminds us that we are the only thinker in our minds, and that if anything's upsetting us, what's upsetting us? It's our way of interpreting it. It doesn't mean that stuff doesn't happen out there, but how we interpret what's happening out there is really going to affect the way we live our lives. And that seems so silly, and I thought, oh, that's not always true. I'm going to challenge that thought. And then there I was, driving on the sanctuary of the 110 freeway, and I was behind a driver, and everybody's sailing by us, and I'm behind a driver that was going a little pokey, okay? So I'm following behind them like a diligent, oops, there's that phone again. God's calling. Remember to turn off your phones if you can. If you can shut your phones off, that helps us. But at any rate, so I'm driving on the freeway and I see this person behind me. I'm behind this person. And I thought, look at me. I'm just like following the leader. And it's like all I need to do is put my signal on and go around that person. I don't have to be angry at them. I don't have to make a judgment about them. I just go around them. And I thought, well, very elementary. However, we don't do that in life sometimes. Sometimes, we may stay in a toxic work environment, or we may stay in a relationship that doesn't feel fulfilling, or we may have a mindset that keeps us down here at this level and think that we can't do any greater. And I thought, how is it that we get courageous enough to step out of that pattern and become who we came here to be? And some of it involves just investigating, who did I come here to be? How much time am I investing in my actual self, my own personal growth? Can someone help Gabrielle turn her phone off, maybe? I don't know if she knows how to do it. It's the little button on the side. There you go. Did you get it, Casey? Okay, all right, great. So there we go. Thank you. So that was just God calling again, saying, yeah, we're on board here. So I was reading an article by Martha Beck, the famous author, and she was always popularized in Oprah Winfrey's magazines. I don't know if anybody ever read that. But she said sometimes the error that we make about not being courageous is an error of integrity. And I thought, well, what the heck does that mean? And she said many times we were taught when we were younger, or even like yesterday, things to believe in that don't really resonate with the truth of who we are. And that sounds kind of strange, but she likened it to, there was, when she was growing up, practicing religion, a particular religion modality, and she thought that it was going to bring her to spiritual mindfulness, and it didn't. It took her far away from it. And it made her, rather than feeling great about herself and self-affirming, it actually pulled her away from being who she was. So it's sometimes a matter of investigating, what is it that I'm believing, and what is it that I'm knowing about myself, and how can I move forward? And that doesn't mean not having fear. It's that old feel the fear and do it anyway, and move forward with thinking, where is it that I want to go in my life, and how can I succeed? Now, if you're succeeding by how you feel, like what your heart tells you about how content you feel in the morning. When you go out in the day, it's like, are you feeling enlivened, invigorated, and excited about things, or are you feeling like, oh, ho-hum, I can't wait to get into comfort zone. This sounds like such a crazy example, but it came to me early this morning. It's getting chilly out, so I've been taking out my winter sweaters. And there's this one sweater that I absolutely love, but the collar, it's seen better days. And the collar is kind of all stretched out. So I thought, well, I'll wash it and try to shrink it and make it all fix, you know how we do. And so I did that, and it's all floppy collar. And I thought, oh, I love this top, but it's like our life. Sometimes we take out our old comfort zone. We go, oh, but I like this. This makes me feel comfortable. But it doesn't work anymore. It's out of integrity. The shirt is out of integrity. And I thought, well, if my shirt's out of integrity, what's that saying about me? How do I get back into that spot? Now think about this. I'm going to share this definition because sometimes these little words that we just take for granted, all of a sudden they take on a different meaning. So I'm going to give you the definition of integrity. Integrity is the quality of being honest and having strong moral principles, meaning one's actions are consistent with one's values. Oh, that requires some reflection, doesn't it? Because sometimes we have to think about it. Can apply to your job, it can apply to your relationships, it can apply to how you speak to yourself, which is the most important thing of all, like how we talk to ourselves, how we relate to ourselves, and how we go out there and be in the world. So this teaching reminds us there are universal principles. And for every thought that you put out there, there is a reaction to it. And you may say, oh yeah, that's elementary. I know that stuff already. For every thought I think, yeah. No, it's the feeling that we have. It's the tone that we have. It's the frequency that we're putting out there. And everything that we're attracting on whatever frequency it is only a reflection of the thoughts that we're having. So if we don't like what's going on in our experience, we have to go back into here, not blame the outer experience. Although it's easy to do that, isn't it? Well, my job, they don't appreciate me. Well, this darn freeway, look at the way it's acting. Oh my gosh, my bank account, I wish it was greater, and it's not, and I don't know why. Whatever it is. A lot of times we let the experience dictate how our life is going to go. This teaching says you got it in reverse. You have to say, you know what? How I'm thinking is producing the experience that I want. So it's all a matter of knowing I can create whatever it is that I desire, but I have to get in the frequency of that. I have to get in the understanding of that. I have to get in the knowing of that. And everything else that comes that doesn't match that, we just say, well, gosh, isn't that a blessing? Isn't that a blessing? Because the failure is just the feedback to say, keep going. You missed the mark a little bit. Just keep going and you're going to get on board there. But a lot of times when something goes south in our life, we give up. We throw in the towel. We go, you know what? I just can't deal with it. My boss is a jerk. There's nothing about that. He's just a jerk. I think I've told this story before. I worked with a boss that was very intense. And I kept talking to my friends on the phone going, I don't know what to do. I didn't call this into my experience, all this kind of stuff. And I thought, oh, that's right. That's right. He's a blessing. And I thought, oh boy. My sister's like, are you fibbing to yourself? He's a blessing. He's a pain in the neck. And I'm like, oh yeah, he's a pain in the neck because it's reminding me, he's reflecting back to me my own thoughts. And I went, oh, that means I have to love myself a little more, doesn't it? And isn't that where the homework begins? It has nothing to do with what's going on out there. It only has something to do with what's going on here. And we all know that. Everybody in this room could give me an example of when they changed their thought, when they absolutely took ownership of what they were doing, life shifted for them. It had nothing to do with what was going on in there. And all of a sudden, miraculously, the outside appearances shifted. And you're like, how'd that happen? Well, of course, it happened because of your thought. It happened because of your belief. It happened because of the energy that we put out there about something. So the importance of this teaching says always go back to home base. Always go back to what you're thinking. Always go back to understanding what you know about the truth of yourself. And if we're knowing that we're made in the image and likeness of God, if we're knowing the words like Jesus said, it is done unto you as you believe. If you don't like what's happening, go, what is it that I got into agreement with? What is it that I'm starting to believe that it's not only not so hotsy-totsy, it's not true. And the moment that we shift out of that, everything begins to shift towards our good. And the success that we're seeking really does take courage, doesn't it? It takes courage to say, I'm going to follow through on this, even though right now I'm not real keen on what I'm seeing. I'm going to follow through and stick to the truth of my being. I'm going to quote Ernest. I have discovered the 1926 version of Science of Mind. It's online and it's free. So if you look it up, it's free and you can read it. I tried to call it up. It was so teeny weeny and I couldn't blow it up. So I'm borrowing the regular, our 1956 version, I think this is. But the deal is when you absolutely go back to the teaching, you realize how absolute this teaching is. There is no room for wishy-washy. You know what? I don't even know if you could look up wishy-washy and you'd find a title. But there's no wishy-washy in it. It's absolute, and it says, no, you know your truth. You stand in that power. You absolutely know that. So what he has to say about healing, I want to just read a couple little things here. In treating, you go beyond a disease, any type of healing. So it's not just disease. You go beyond any circumstance. And you supply a spiritual consciousness. A treatment is not complete without a great realization of life, love, and the power and perfection of God. Wisdom, there I am, and power and reality. Whether we say the thought goes out or it's operated upon by principle, it doesn't matter. Now you say, that makes perfect sense. Do you wake up every morning and say, I'm perfect, whole, and complete? And then you get out of bed and you step and you're like, oh, but except for my knee, because it's killing me, right? No, you just say, perfect, whole, and complete. Absolutely knowing the truth. And you take the steps that take you beyond the limitations. Now, a lot of times, what is that saying they say? The same hot water that boils an egg does, I forget the quote, but it's, whenever we're in hot water, it's not the circumstances, it's the effort that we put into things, that we have to know that we are in charge of our life. And the moment that we take that ownership and have the courage to do that, because a lot of times you'll be like the driver, like I was today, following behind this guy, and all of a sudden I went, oh my goodness, what am I doing? And I went around the person and went, I don't have to be held up by this if I don't want to be. It's a matter of knowing that your success is always built upon by your thought that you're creating, that the limitation that you're feeling is not something put upon you by God or by the universe or, by your DNA or by your familiar circumstances that you were born with. I know some people go, oh, it's in my genetics of this. Cancel that. Absolutely. There's that beautiful saying, yesterday ended last night. You can take that thought on in your mind or you can let it go. And the moment you let it go, because it does take courage, the moment you let it go, you're like, okay, I'm in uncharted territory. I got to figure out which direction do I really want to go. Because it's so easy to sit back and blame a boss or blame a job or blame a relationship or blame your bank account or blame whatever it is. And instead you say, isn't this interesting what I've created for myself? And how do I get out of this pickle? Because you got yourself into the pickle. I've told you that story, right? I probably told it, but if you know the answer, don't call it out. I want you to picture a beautiful glass vase, tall neck of the glass vase and a big round bottom. Okay, and it's sitting on the table. It's got this long cylinder and then this beautiful bottom. Okay, you got that? You got that picture in your mind? Now I want you to picture a goose inside that vase. And that poor little goose, his little neck is stretched out, and his little beak is right up at the top, and his little bottom is down at the bottom. I want you to picture that goose in there, and he's like, okay, I need to get out of this thing, right? So picture the goose in that glass vase. How do you get the goose out of the vase? Because you can't break the vase, and you can't stretch him out because his bottom's too big, it's not going to fit through the cylinder. How do you get him out? You imagine him out, because that's how you got him in there. Now think about that for a second. That is a profound idea, because when we're in a situation, we may not want to own it, but the truth of it is we create our circumstances. And how do we create our circumstances? By the responses that we give. And you may go, oh, no, Reverend Mary, oh, no, I didn't order that job. There's no way I wanted that to happen. I didn't want that flat tire. I wound up with a bolt in my tire a couple months ago. I didn't want that bolt in my tire. And I thought, isn't that interesting? I think I told this too, that I looked down at the tire. It was cold, it was drizzling. I was down here, I had about 45 miles to go, and I was at the gas station. It was a Sunday at like 6:30 at night, and it was like nobody was open. I looked down at my tire, and the name of my tires were Assurance. And I said, okay, I have assurance that I will make it home. And I did, and the next day I got right to the tire place. They fixed it, la-di-da. And I said, you know what? Interesting thought. Where's your faith? Where's your faith? Where's your idea of what you can really believe in as your personal truth? And then take that on. You know, things happen all the time, but our success is determined by where we're going. So it's a matter of saying, the universe says to us, I will help you, I will assist you, I will do whatever it is you want, but I can only do it through the level of your own thinking. So the importance is expand your thinking. Expand your concept of yourself. Expand your ability to do and have that can-do attitude. Because the moment that we do that, all the forces in the universe come together and say, I will clear the way for you because there's a serious player. There's somebody that knows what they want, believes in their purpose, and absolutely trusts in this power. Because there is power in our word. There's power in our thought. You know, we don't take a seed in our hand and go, gosh, I sure hope this works out. I sure hope it grows. Well, it's not going to do anything if you keep holding on to it. But a lot of times we get a little too complacent. We get so comfortable. We're like, I just want to be comfy. I just want life to go smooth. I don't want any troubles. I don't want any pushback. Well, pushback is lovely if we use it as a little stepping stone to advance and acknowledge our soul growth and let it happen for us. But a lot of times we'll put the seed in the soil. Now we're not going to dig it up and go, are you growing? Come on. I'm manifesting money here. Where is it, right? No. We've got to let the soil do its work, right? So I did my work by putting the seed in the soil, and now the soil does its work, and I just anticipate with expectation the result. But a lot of times we just hang on to the seed and go, God, I sure could use some carrots right now. I wish you'd come to the surface here and happen. But I haven't done the steps to make it happen. So the steps to make it happen are use your imagination. Visualize the things that you want. How many have ever done a vision board? Oh yeah, aren't they successful? So use the vision board, use your imagination. Create the thing that you want to create by seeing it already happening. It's like you're the magician in your life, you know. You get to create whatever it is you want, but see it happening. And the moment that you do see it happening, let it go. And just trust and go, oh yeah, that's already happening. I already see it happening. I don't have to figure out how. I don't even have to figure out the what. I just have to know. Absolutely, it's happening the way I desire. So that's kind of the steps of living courageously. Having a sense of knowing where you want to go, a purpose, having a vision about what it is you want to create, using your imagination to create it, and not letting anything stop or block you, especially your experiences, especially the news, especially the negative friend that tells you that can't possibly be done. Let yourself just explore the grandness of who you came here to be, and get supported by people of like-minded, like this center. Like hang out here and be around the people of like-minded that lift you up and build that sense of, you know what, I can do anything that I desire to do, and nothing stops or blocks me. So please affirm with me, there is one power. That power is God. Oh, can we say that a little stronger? That power is God. And that power is the power that I use every moment of my day. I am knowing I'm creating courageously a life that is fulfilling, vivacious, filled with energy, and successful. I let it be so. I feel it. I know it. I trust it. And so it is. There we go. Thank you. Okay. And this is the time of the sharing of our treasure, or are we're doing our song first? No, I guess we're going to do our then we'll do our song. Yes. Perfect. All righty. So please take your gift in the palm of your hands and let's affirm together. Divine love consecrates my gift. It goes forth to heal, to bless, and to prosper all those who give and all those who receive. I rejoice in the sharing of my good, and I release my gift with love, and so it is.
Okay. You guys probably know this one. For those of you who have been here on a Sunday, it is our song, Grateful. Grateful for the morning, grateful for the sunlight on my face, grateful for the feeling, I'm grateful for the knowing, grateful for the love that's in this place, grateful for believing that God is all there is, that God is all there is. Grateful for the morning, grateful for the sunlight on my face, grateful for the feeling, I'm grateful for the knowing, grateful for the love that's in this place, grateful for believing that God is all there is, that God is all there is, God is all there is.
Wonderful. Beautiful. I'm going to do a little guided meditation, but I want to share this quote that I wanted to. It came from Dr. David Alexander, who is a minister that is in Georgia. And he said this beautiful thing, and I thought, my goodness, we don't leap because we're certain of where we will land. We leap because something in us knows that the ground that we're on, we have outgrown, and it can no longer hold us. The push may come from love or loss or opportunity or even divine timing, but the flight is always graceful. Isn't that interesting? So sometimes when you feel a calling to do something new, to do something different, to take a step that it might kind of feel out of boundary for you or a little bit risky, the importance is to just take it and trust. And when you take that trust, just know that there's going to be a beautiful landing for you. So we'll do a guided meditation now, if that's okay. And we'll just have some music, and here we go. So as we take a deep breath in, I invite you to just let the chair support you. And if you can, uncross your legs and your arms. And breathing in, just feel this wonderful sense of peace. See yourself in this beautiful golden white light. And in your mind's eye, I want you to look down at your feet. And we're going to take a travel. Some of you may have gone here before, and we're going to go again into this beautiful meadow. And as you look at your feet, see your feet walking through this meadow of tall grass. And it is the most perfect day. There is a blue sky with white puffy clouds. The temperature is absolutely perfect, and your feet are bare. You can feel the grass, and you can smell the grass. And the grass is just undulating with the wind, just very beautifully. And you see little birdies zipping in and out. You see the butterflies moving. And you just feel this wonderful peacefulness. You see flowers just moving, beautiful yellows and purples and pinks, just all dotted through the grass, and it feels so wonderful. And it's just this absolutely peaceful feeling that you feel so alive and so aware. And as you're moving through this little meadow, over to the right of you, there's this perfect little brook, just this little creek that's just moving with water gently, and you can hear it bubbling. And it's just so wonderful. And there are 6 perfect stones for you to walk across this brook. And as you do, you can feel the spray of the brook on your feet. You feel this lovely, wonderful water energy. And as you walk across the brook, you're on the other side, and all of a sudden, magically appearing before you is a beautiful forest. And it's this wonderful forest of very tall pines and redwoods and all kinds of trees. And it's very inviting and welcoming, and you walk in, and there's a perfect path for you to walk on. And you see your feet on this trail, and it's completely covered in these beautiful soft pine needles. They don't stick you at all. They act like a beautiful cushion. And as you're walking, you just feel so invigorated. You feel so healthy, like you're back in your own nature. And you look around this forest and look up at the top of the trees, and you can see them gently swaying from the breeze. And you can smell the pine. And all of a sudden you look, and there's all these beautiful, beautiful animals, all kinds that you didn't notice before. There's an owl on the tree. There's some deer in the distance, a mama deer with her babies. There's a big buck with his big antlers. There's a little possum on the ground, and some raccoons and some squirrels scurrying about. All sorts of little animals. You look on a leaf and there's a ladybug. And you're walking and it just feels so familiar. And you feel so at peace and at home. And you keep walking on this trail, and all of a sudden before you there's a clearing. And in this clearing, you see an entire circle of redwood trees, perfectly in this beautiful circle, and you can smell the earth, and you smell the moisture, and it's just so rich and inviting. And you look ahead, and there is a perfect chair that's cut out of a log, and it's perfect for you. And you follow through on the impulse to just sit down and just be in this circle of these trees. And it's so the trees are talking to you. And you know, redwoods, their roots connect underground, and they form a circle and keep those redwoods, each of them build each other and keep each other strong. And you're reminded of that in your own life, of how you're strengthened by the people that you love and that love you. And there's appearing down this trail this beautiful being of light that's coming towards you. And as this being approaches, you both nod to each other, and you recognize each other and know each other by heart. And that being sits down with you. Not a word is spoken out loud, but you really do communicate with this being. And you feel so very loved by this light. And you have mutual love for that light. And so this being says to you, you know, is there anything that's been stopping or blocking you from being courageous in your life that you'd like to just let go of? Is there a limitation you'd like to let go of? So think for a moment. What's something that might be blocking you? You may not have even a name for it or anything other than a feeling. So think of that and put your hands to your heart and see this light coming from your heart, and this being says, pass it on to me. And I pass it to the being of light. And with that, she blesses it and releases it. So sit in a moment and feel what it feels like to have let go of one thing that might be stopping or blocking you. And now, as we understand that nature does not like void, this light being says to you, now is there something that you would like to bring into your life, that you'd like to express? Is there something that you would like to create that you've either been too timid to create, too reluctant, too set in your ways even. Think about something that you would like to create. And with that, the being of light puts her hands out, and she has a ball of light. And she hands it over to you and invites you to take that ball of light and put it into your heart. So I encourage you to put your hands over your heart now and accept in this beautiful vision of what it is that you want to create in your experience. Just know what it is. You don't have to know how. You don't have to know any of the logistics. Just accept it into your experience. And now sit for a moment, and what does that feel like to know that which you desire desires you, and you are creating in your experience right now by accepting it, by knowing it, by believing in it. Just breathe into that feeling. And all of a sudden, when you dial into how you feel lighter. You feel that sense of emptiness rescinded, and instead of in its place is this beautiful sense of fulfillment. You don't know why, you don't have to know why. Just be in that moment and feel that sense of love and familiarity with that light being. That light being reminds you that they are available anytime, and they are really a part of you, your higher self speaking to you, creating with you right now. And so both of you stand to leave, and again you acknowledge each other and dip your heads down and say, "Thank you. Thank you. I'm filled with gratitude that you're here and you remind me of who I came here to be." And you bid farewell to your being of light, and they go down the trail and you go down your trail your way, and all the little forest animals are there to greet you. They represent your actual nature, your real nature. And as you walk through, those beautiful deer are there, and they look so sweet. And the owl is up there hooting, reminding you of your wisdom. All the little animals represent some beautiful little aspect of yourself. And the ladybug flies up to your finger and says, "See you next time." And as you leave the forest, there's that brook and those perfect 6 stones to walk across. And you step very easily and step into the meadow. And there's that beautiful fragrance of flowers and light. And slowly you make your way back into the room. And in your mind's eye, be looking at your feet in the room. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. Welcome back. Did you have fun? Yeah? Did anybody see any other animals other than deer and squirrel and possum and raccoon and owl? Ladybug? I guess a ladybug is an animal in the animal world somewhere, insect world. All right, well, this is the time of prayer treatment, and I invite anyone that's looking or knowing and wanting to know their divine highest in a particular situation. If you have a prayer that you would like, Grant or Vincent has the microphone if you'd like to request a prayer. Anybody? No prayer. I think we're all still in the forest or in the meadow. How about if we do a generic prayer treatment about healing, okay? How about, you on board with me on that? All right. So this is what I know for each and every one of us here and beyond. There is one power, that infinite divine intelligence that I call God, that is the very heart and soul of my being, that I am one with because I am created of it. And I'm knowing right here and now that healing of all types is happening right now. And my perfect health is being realized because I am the health of God. I am the healthy mindset of God. I am the healthy lifestyle of God. I am the healthy body of God. Mental, physical, spiritual, completely healed. And that health is realizing right now. And I acknowledge that there is nothing that stops or blocks me from my goodness, my creativity, my love, my abundance, my perfection from realizing. So I let go of any thought that might be limiting me, any thought that I might have taken on and addressed as myself. I am willing to let it go now and embrace my truth and realize that I am the expression of God. And when I say God is and I am, I know that truth. And what that means is that my spirit is constantly flourishing, constantly knowing the truth, constantly being courageous and moving into the next divine experience that raises me up in vibration, in frequency, in knowing, in action in my life. And so I just breathe into this knowing, and I trust in this power and this presence, that it will lead me and guide me into my best and highest experiences. And I am ever so grateful. Grateful for this teaching, grateful for this center, grateful for the people in the room, grateful for my understanding, and grateful for my failures, grateful for the things that have set me back, that absolutely encourage me to push myself a little better, a little higher, into a little better knowing. And so this is my truth. And as I release this prayer into the law of mind, it absolutely knows, does, and acts as I desire, as I state in my mind, as I know. It is the truth of my being, and I say, thank you, God, thank you, God, thank you, God, and so it is. Okay, we have liftoff. We're ready to go out into this beautiful Wednesday. It's such a gorgeous day out, too. The rain kind of cleared everything out. It's wonderful. So thank you for being here. It's an honor for me to be here, and I'll see you this Sunday, actually. I'll be here doing the mini lesson and the before class study, and now go out and make it a fabulous day. And so it is. Thank you.